I take again 08032910826. The sixth hotline 08121243191. With this hotline, we're expected to know clearly any individual of seen with the symptoms of suspicion of this coronavirus. Please, you can help us communicate accordingly so that the person can be well taken care of. We have 2 dedicated centers, well-trained individuals within the state, the other specialist hospital, the Lafia, and also the Federal Medical Center, Kefi.
So the state government is combat ready based on the presentation of the Commission for Health at the moment to manage the outbreak of the disease should it come to play. So I urge all seated here as stakeholders in this very business to spread the good news to other people that are not here. It is the responsibility of all of us that are here to ensure that we partake directly or indirectly at ensuring that Nasarawa State is history.
The Nasarawa state government has rolled out a 5-year action plan with a 25-man technical working group on the elimination of hepatitis C. Nasarawa has hepatitis C prevalence rate of 13.2%, a figure higher than the national average. Hence, the state government is working in partnership with the Clinton Health Access Initiative.
In furtherance of these efforts, we are commencing an ambitious viral hepatitis C elimination plan in the state. To actualize this plan, we set up a viral hepatitis technical working group to be chaired by none other than our Honorable Commissioner for Health. The working group will be inaugurated today, and they are already seated from what we can see, as a demonstration of our commitment to fight this viral disease.
Located in north-central Nigeria, Nasarawa State was created in 1996 out of neighboring Plateau State and was known as the home of solid minerals. Upon becoming the governor of Nasarawa State, Engineer Abdullahi Sule set out to take the state to greater heights of economic growth and prosperity by exploring the potential in the mining sector. Through various forums, the governor reached out to investors, stakeholders, and partners in progress.
This administration is here to promote this kind of activities. We are looking for partnerships, where we will be able to work with true investors, not just briefcase investors, true investors that will come in to partner with the state in order to promote economic activities in the state and have mutual relationship, with the state. Because we have a very devoted and committed president who wants to see diversification from oil, and mining is one area that is a major diversification.
In October 2019, the 4th Nigerian Mining Week held in Abuja with government officials, delegates from the organized private sector and foreign representatives in attendance. And with people-driven agenda in mind, Governor Abdullahi Sule made a case for Nasarawa State.
Nasarawa State is strategically located in the north-central part of Nigeria, which shares boundaries with Benue, Kogi, Plateau, Taraba, Kaduna, and of course the FCT. Considering its rich mineral potential, Nasarawa State's slogan is actually the home of solid minerals. So if mining is what you are here for, Nasarawa State is the place you want to be. It may interest you to note that Nasarawa State is actually endowed with a lot of those minerals, including lead and zinc, coal, barite, copper or gold, gypsum, limestones, precious and semi-precious stones, zircon sand, salt, marble, granite, tantalite, walnut, and almighty coal that I will talk about in a little bit. It is pertinent to note that though the activities of some miners, new mineral deposits are being discovered periodically in our state. Preliminary findings carried out by Nigerian Geographical Survey Agency and some private investors reveal that the mineral deposits in the state are highly in commercial quantities, just waiting to be harnessed. Let me take the liberty of this occasion to invite our prospective mining investors to Nasarawa exhibition stand, which we have for you to glimpse on some of these minerals that have already been showcased. It is my conviction that the investors will find it imperative to come and harness this potential for the benefit of all. Accordingly, Nasarawa state government is making frantic efforts to leverage on the mineral sector development as a mechanism for economic growth and sustainable development.
On his part, the Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Olamileka Adegbite, says government is looking at engaging the sector in a bid to diversify the economy.
The plan is aimed at increasing national productivity and achieving sustainable diversification of the economy through the mining sector. To this end, the ministry has been working hard to increase the revenue generated from the sector and its contribution to the national GDP. The sector is also being primed to be a huge job creator, broadening the spectrum of economic opportunities available to Nigerians through the pursuit of strategic policies. Under the proposed mineral export guidelines, there will be no room for royalty payment evasion. All mineral exports shall be inspected by government-appointed independent procurement inspector agents who are empowered by law to render quantity and quality control services and monitor the pricing.
These are some of the solid minerals spread across the 13Abdullahi Sule is hoping to grow the state's revenue through natural resources.
A mining law. First, the federal government issues the license. Second, you approach your cadastre. Cadastre means the lease, the area given to you to go and do your exploration. Now, when you approach the area, what you are supposed to do is to get to the community where the cadastre is situated. Get the community together and have what we call CDA, Community Development Agreement. You understand? If you do that, first, don't forget, you have approached the state, you have registered with the state to register your presence, you have declared what you want to mine, and you approach the community, you've engaged them in an agreement. Under the agreement, there is your corporate social responsibility is clearly spelled out, and you have the CDA in writing, federal, state, and the community in which you want to do the mining. I think if you follow all these processes, you have no problem. The state is okay with you, the federal government is okay with you, the communities are also okay with you. It's not left to you to begin to pay those taxes. There's one that goes to the local government, there's one that comes to the state, and there's royalty that goes to the federal government. So if you are doing all these things, do you have problem? The state doesn't have problem with you, the federal has no problem with you, the community, the local governments are okay with you. That's just it. Very simple.
Earlier in the year, the Minister of Mines and Steel Development paid a courtesy visit to Nasarawa State, where he met with Governor Abdullahi Sule to deliberate on how the state and federal government can meet halfway and take advantage of the potential in mining in such a way that is a win-win for all.
We've chosen Nasarawa State because it's the home of solid minerals. It's one of the first states we're coming to. It's important that we get this synergy right. There's been a lot of maybe some challenges in the relationship between the federal government and the states. Of course, every progressive governor that governs the states wants the best for his people. And I must say that I've seen evidence of that since I've come into Nasarawa today. There's a lot of infrastructure projects going on. Everywhere you see the construction signboard, township roads being constructed or reconstructed. So this is a good thing. And for you to do that, you need revenue. So it's not a misplaced thing for governors to want to exploit minerals within their sector, within their domain. But we're saying we can do this in an organized manner so that it becomes beneficial both to the states and the federal government and the local government indeed, without violating the Constitution, which has put mining as exclusive to the federal government.
Anytime I speak on solid minerals, the rest of the governors believe I'm speaking for nearly every one of them. So that's why they want me to be the first to speak when it comes to that. Because one, I'm coming from the business angle, and they know that I'm going to approach it purely from the business point of view. So I want you to put your mind at rest. The same way oil and gas sector is being controlled. And by the way, that's where I came from. As I keep telling you, I came from the oil and gas sector. I spent most of my, before I became an old man, I was a young man in America, actually working in Houston, Texas in the oil and gas sector. It was when I was started getting old that I came back to Nigeria and joined Dangote. So, as I'm telling you, sir, the bottom line is we just want to keep it the status quo. It belongs to the federal government, is being controlled by the federal ministry. If only you can achieve this leasing support that you are doing, this will work it out. This will solve the entire problems of this sector. Because a lot of our people right now in the localities, they know where some of these minerals are, but they are approaching everything from the crude manner because of the poverty level and the lack of equipment to be able to do this work, and the lack of knowledge. Now, those supplying this equipment at least will impart the knowledge to our people, and people who are leasing these are now going to improve the yield and improve the activities. The states and the communities as well as federal government will now have an idea about how much is being done, so we know how much revenue will go. It is better for me to have 1% of something than 100% of nothing.
This administration has come up with a policy, and also at the instance of the Vice President and other ministers in charge of solid minerals, His Excellency the Governor has pleaded, and he did not just plead, he made a case, a very, very fantastic case where he's supposed to make them. He made them that all the mineral coming from Nasarawa State will be declared in Nasarawa State, and that there's going to be a ground, market ground, for the declaration of such minerals. And he did not just stop at that. There are what we call artisan miners, those who just mine for a living. After mining these minerals, they take it on their shoulder looking for where to dispose them. Now the state, out of his wisdom, has actually put an issue before His Excellency the Vice President, who was in charge of that committee, that we are going to create a market for that. Those Chinese people, or those expatriates, or those marketers who hide and encourage the artisan miners to take our commonwealth will not have a hidden place. If they really need this product, they have to appear in public to actually buy their mineral. And by implication, or the logic here, is that this mineral will be declared. And the moment they are declared, the proceeds come to the Nasarawa state.
Your Excellency, sir, Motivas Mining and Exploration is the only mining company listed on Nigerian Stock Exchange. And we have been in Nasarawa state for the past 10 years.
With clear intentions and a sense of purpose, investors are beginning to align with Governor Abdullahi Sule's policy direction and take up corporate social responsibility.
First is when we are coming into Nasarawa, we make sure that we have a very robust and comprehensive community development agreement. Even before then, we have started improving the lives of the people around us. We give them employment, we grade the roads, we're doing boreholes, we're doing all those things. We're teaching them the techniques of mining. Rather than cutlass and hole mining, we're teaching them technology of mining, how to operate sophisticated machines and all that. So we're doing a lot in terms of corporate responsibility. We want to take the people, as the government was saying, to the next level of employment, the next level of technology, next level of living at the end of the day.
Actually, it's a good deal because it's gonna go a long way helping youth. That's not just you, rather the states, in giving them employment opportunities on which they have to develop themselves. Not just that alone, but rather it's gonna help in reducing crime rates. Because rather than youth engaging themselves in going for armed robbery, kidnapping, just to get money to meet their daily needs, at least I think that should help a long way. Also, I think it's gonna reduce the way people troop out of the states, going to other states to look for job opportunities. That's in helping those other states. Rather, I think with this policy, it's a nice one because it's gonna return the youth back in their state, of which they're gonna use the opportunity to develop the states.
Under Governor Abdullahi Sule, a new chapter is unfolding in the solid mineral state, where the mining sector is key for sustainable development, economic growth, revenue generation, and job creation. So I understand that Nasarawa State has a mission and a vision, which is to be among the 3 top states in competitive states in Nigeria, and that breaks down into different areas. Let's begin with the issue of solid minerals. We understand that Nasarawa State is also a home of solid minerals. How do you generate revenue from this critical sector?
The area of solid minerals is one that is being reviewed, both at the federal level and as well as the state. Part of the review is the reason that you saw the Minister of State for Solid Minerals and the Minister of Solid Minerals, both of them visiting us here in Lafia, coming to review that. We have met also with various communities where these minerals are held. Coincidentally, I just finished one of those meetings. We have also met with the companies that are operating in most of these communities within the state. So what we are looking at with the solid mineral is to see what value are we getting from it. We are identifying what solid minerals do we have in commercial quantity that will add value. We are identifying how to work in those areas, where the communities will be involved, the companies are involved, and the state government is also in the know of exactly what is happening. That is how we generate our revenue. So the value that we are looking at is not necessarily on the taxes and the other kinds of revenue that we are generating, but on the value that is being added. For instance, how many people are we having employed? What is the plan for the reclamation of the land after the exploitation and the production of the solid minerals in those areas? A lot of the mining activities that will be carried about will bring about, some land degradation, some work that have been tampering with the topography of the area. So how will that reclamation be carried out? So we're looking at the MOUs that are being signed, between the companies and the communities. Those are the ways we're looking at to see the value that will be added.
So, can you speak to us about the relationship between the federal government and the state government as regards solid minerals in the state? Is it the situation of other oil-producing states? Is that what we're going to see now? Because we understand that the federal government owns the resources in the land, and the state government the state government owns that land. So where is that meeting point between the state government and the federal government?
Just like you asked, and you mentioned clearly, the minerals belong to the federal government. The land belongs to the state. The land belongs to the state as well as the communities. Most of these communities are also operating in those lands. They have their farmlands, they have economic trees, they have other things there. So what is happening is that the federal government decided in conjunction with the states at the NEC meeting to establish a committee comprising of people from the federal government as well as other stakeholders and some governments that are going to start looking at the new template on how these licenses will be allocated and how they will be operated. So there is going to be a role for everybody in the new setup, and that will determine the new relationship that will be beneficial to everybody.
So how do you intend to keep all parties happy? When I say all parties, I'm talking about the miners, the state government, and also the people that are resident in this area of maybe mining or something. How do you keep them happy?
One of the ways is to ensure that everybody has a piece of what is happening. The federal government is interested in ensuring that the mining is in line with our own policies in the country. The revenue that is being generated is properly being generated. That is the area mostly that the federal government is showing interest. The federal government is also interested in the employment, but the states are more interested in showing that there is employment, there is economic activity that is going on, there is benefit, in form of CSR that is taking place in all these areas, and the land reclamation. So after the mining activities, how do we reclaim the land, for agriculture and other activities? So those are the areas that are of interest to the state, I believe, as well as the communities.
We're all very excited about the NEDS, which is the Nasarawa Economic Development Strategy. The NEDS, simply put, is Governor Abdullahi A. Sule's roadmap to prosperity for Nasarawa. It really captures the situation of Nasarawa State as is now, and also with a very ambitious strides to move Nasarawa State forward from reliance on federal statutory allocation to actually an industrialized state that has a private sector driven economy. The governor's vision, as encapsulated in the NEDS, is to make Nasarawa State a top 3 most competitive states in Nigeria in terms of accelerated industrialization, improved lives of the citizens and residents of the state. And this laudable vision seeks to be achieved in different scenarios, looking at some 5 game changer opportunities, 4 key reform areas. Our key reform areas are in reform of the civil service, efficient land administration, reforming our tax systems and improving our internally generated revenue, and also improving our fiscal and financial management system.
And that's it for today on the program. Until next time, always remember, Nasarawa means business.